ever wondered how natural the natural flavors in your foods really are? A walk down any grocery aisle will reveal a plethora of foods boasting natural flavors. It's a phrase that conjures up images of fresh fruits, fragrant herbs, and pure, wholesome goodness. But have you ever stopped to ponder what natural flavors actually means? Or why this seemingly innocuous term is splashed across so many food labels? In our quest for healthier choices, we often gravitate towards foods that claim to contain natural flavors, believing them to be superior to their artificial counterparts. We imagine these flavors are extracted straight from nature, from the luscious strawberry in our yogurt to the zingy lemon in our tea. But what if I told you that the line between natural and artificial flavors might not be as clear as we think? You see, when it comes to the food industry, natural does not necessarily mean straight from nature. In fact, the term natural flavor is a bit of a misnomer. It's a broad category that can include anything that's derived from a plant or animal source. But here's the kicker. These flavors can and often are processed in labs, much like artificial flavors. Now, you might be thinking, but surely there must be a significant difference between natural and artificial flavors, right? Well, it's complicated. While there is a difference in how they are sourced, the chemical structures of natural and artificial flavors can be remarkably similar. Yes, you heard that right. The natural vanilla flavor in your ice cream could have the same chemical makeup as the artificial vanilla flavor in your neighbor's cookies. So what does this mean for us, the consumers? Are we being duped by the food industry into believing that natural is always better? The answer may not be as straightforward as you'd like. So let's delve deep into the world of flavors and uncover the truth. Let's unravel the enigma that is natural flavors and find out what's really behind that tantalizing taste in your favorite foods. When we think of natural flavors, we often imagine fresh fruits, herbs, and spices. But is that what natural really means in the food industry? Let's take a moment to dive into the definitions provided by the Food and Drug Administration. According to the FDA, a natural flavor is defined as a substance derived from plant or animal matter. It could be anything from a spice, fruit or fruit juice, vegetable or vegetable juice, edible yeast, herb, bark, bud, root, leaf, or any other plant material. Similarly, it could come from meat, seafood, poultry, eggs, dairy products, or even fermentation products. The primary function of these natural flavors is not to contribute nutritional value, but rather to enhance taste. On the other hand, artificial flavors are essentially the chemically synthesized counterparts of natural flavors. They are fabricated in a lab by a flavorist, mimicking the taste of a natural substance. The key difference is not so much in the molecular structure, which can be identical, but in the origin of these flavors. Now here's where the line starts to blur. Many might believe that natural flavors are healthier or more pure, but that's not always the case. You see, both natural and artificial flavors can contain synthetic additives. For example, a natural strawberry flavor could be enhanced with synthetic compounds to make it taste more like a ripe strawberry. Moreover, the process of extracting natural flavors can involve a cocktail of chemicals that you wouldn't consider natural. In fact, the extraction process can be so complex and industrialized, it makes you question the natural label in the first place. To make matters even more confusing, a flavor can start as natural, but become artificial through the process of extraction and refinement. The boundary between natural and artificial flavors is not as clear as you might think. So when you see natural flavors written on a food label, remember this. The term natural is more about the source of the flavor, rather than the process it goes through to end up in your food. As you can see, natural might not mean what you think it does. Now, let's unravel the 3 reasons why natural flavors aren't as natural as they seem. First, let's talk about the origins of natural flavors. They can come from unexpected and sometimes even unappetizing sources. For instance, you might be surprised to learn that a commonly used natural flavoring called castoreum, which is often found in vanilla or raspberry-flavored foods, is actually derived from the secretions of a beaver's scent glands. How's that for a natural source? Secondly, the extraction process of natural flavors often involves chemicals. While the original source might be something like an orange or a strawberry, the process to extract the flavor can be less than wholesome. Chemical solvents are often used to pull the flavor compounds from the source, and while these are generally recognized as safe, it does somewhat tarnish the all-natural claim. And thirdly, and perhaps most intriguingly, Natural flavors can have the same molecular structure as artificial ones. In a lab, a scientist can create the exact same flavor molecule in a petri dish as the one that's extracted from, say, an apple. So, while one is dubbed natural and the other artificial, at a molecular level they're virtually identical. Fascinating, isn't it? But why does all this matter? Well, it's about transparency. Many people choose products with natural flavors because they believe they're healthier or more wholesome. But as we've seen, the reality can be a little more complex. It's not to say that natural flavors are bad per se, but it's important to understand what we're really consuming. In conclusion, natural flavors can come from unexpected sources. Their extraction often involves chemicals, and they can be identical to artificial flavors at a molecular level. It's a world away from the idyllic image of fresh fruits and sunlit fields that the term natural flavors might conjure. So next time you reach for a product boasting all natural flavors, remember things may not be as they seem. The flavor industry is a master of illusion, and natural flavors are one of its greatest tricks. It's important to understand that the term natural flavors isn't as wholesome as it sounds. This unassuming term is a catch-all for many ingredients, some of which may not be as natural as we'd like to believe. The flavor industry, in its quest for profit, has expertly crafted a narrative where natural is synonymous with healthy. This has led to widespread misconceptions, with many of us blissfully unaware of what we're really consuming. But let's not fall prey to these illusions. It's time we unmask the flavor industry and question what we're told. Let's challenge the status quo. Let's demand transparency and clarity. Let's be conscious consumers, not just for our health's sake, but for the betterment of the food industry as a whole. Remember, knowledge is power. And in this case, it's the power to make informed choices about what you consume.